Welcome to you, ma'am. Sri Siba Prasad Nayak, DGM SIDBI Peenya branch. Hearty welcome to you, sir. Sri Virjin Jawahar, AGM Consultancy Services Cell, SBI. Yeah, hearty welcome. Sri Mahesha J, DGM Union Bank. Welcome to you, Mr. Mahesha. Ms. Divya Hariharan, AGM EXIM Bank. Welcome to you, Mr. Sri Hitendra Kumar, AGM Canara Bank. Welcome to you, sir. Now may I request Mr. Shravan Gurtur to take over from me. Take it, sir.
A beautiful afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. To welcome the panelists to this second technical session, may I now request our dignitaries, representatives from FKCCI. Arvind Burji and Prabhudev Aradhya sir to kindly come forward and present a planter as a token of appreciation for all the panelists and also as a token of welcome. Can we have a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Friends, after an intriguing session on MSME, we thought it is apt that we have a session which speaks on institutional financing, funding, and alternate sources of finance. Right? So in the chamber, FKCCI, PIA, CASIA, time and again we have seen MSMEs, entrepreneurs reach out to us with multiple queries. It could be, Sir Nanige finance beku, sigta illa for whatever reason. It could be documentation, it could be lack of sufficient collateral, it could be whatever reason. The other set of MSMEs who approach us are with questions in relation to lack of awareness. Sir, namige gotte illa ಏನು opportunities ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ market ಅಲ್ಲಿ. So we thought we should have a session which should be a kind of eye opener for us, for at least of those of us who are not aware what are all the products, the funding sources that are available out there. And also in the form of a Q&A, we should take questions and also address the challenges that are faced by the MSMEs. So welcome all to the second technical session as a part of this 3-day SBI India MSME Conclave 2025. In this session, we have 6 panelists. Like Lokrat sir previously mentioned, we have representatives from leading banks in India and also representatives from NSE of India. With this brief background, let me now take this opportunity to introduce the first panelist, Mr. Siba Prasad Nayak. Friends, Siba Prasad Nayak is a Deputy General Manager at SIDBI, Bangalore. Prior to the current role, he was associated with SIDBI for a good 11 years, wherein he held multiple positions, including that of Assistant General Manager in Ranchi, where he focused on funding MSMEs in Jharkhand, and also he had taken up the position of a manager in the city of Ahmedabad. Earlier in his career, he worked at OBC in Chennai, where he handled MSME sector, wherein he was focusing on loan appraisal and credit rating. He also holds a master's degree in banking and finance from the Indian Institute of Banking and Finance, along with JAIIB and CAIIB certifications. He is a certified credit professional from the Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. With this brief introduction, I welcome Siba Prasad Nayak to the gathering over here. Over to you, Siba.
Just a minute, sir. I just want to make an announcement. Yeah. For the benefit of the audience and all the stall owners, there's a free health checkup camp being organized by Sparsh Hospital. Basic checkups are being done. I request all of you to make use of this. Thank you. Sorry.
Good afternoon and namaskar everyone. My dignitaries and my co-panelists on the dais, of the dais. Very good afternoon and welcome to this, not a kind of presentation, but I'll just give some insight about MSME at present. What is the state of MSME and how MSMEs are facing the challenges, how can you overcome the challenges and can grow faster, and what are the schemes available with SIDBI and what are the government schemes available so that you can take the benefit. So at the outset I would like to thank KKCCI, FKCCI and PIA and the organizers for organizing this beautiful event, and thanks for the invitation. So when we talk about MSMEs always say there is a gap, there is a challenge in funding, adequate funding and timely funding. Despite having so many schemes, financing schemes of banks and FIs and government sponsored schemes also, still MSIs are complaining. So we need to introspect, what is there, that is lacking, and why we are not able to get the funding or getting the financial assistance or financial in terms of term loan and working capital from the traditional sources of banking. The main challenges, the key challenges what I see and what is already reported by several reports, lack of awareness by the entrepreneurs about the government sponsored schemes, and a lack of financial discipline. We talk about the micro and small enterprises. So medium enterprises, of course, now they have their own setup, accounting setup, they manage the file and they're able to get the loan from the banks and FIs. So for India to grow, we need to support the micro enterprises. Micro enterprises, to the recent survey, there are around 7.34 crore of MSMEs in India. However, out of that only 6.4 is registered, including 2.7 crore which is registered under the formalization scheme of government which started in 2023. And on a recent study by SIDBI, it was found that around 3.6 crore out of 6.4 crore have ever accessed capital from the formal sources. So that leads to a conclusion that there is a huge gap and there is a huge opportunity for bankers to encash that untapped new to credit customers. So that is one point. And second, they always complain about collateral. So collateral has been an issue definitely, because once you don't have the required document or required financial discipline, so banks will never give the loan, because risk is always something which actually hinders banks to give the loan. So for that, government has framed a CGTMSE scheme way back in 2000. Ministry of MSME, Government of India and SIDBI set up this trust which is giving guarantee to the bank loan, which is given to micro and small, not to the medium so far. And till 2019, the cumulative sanctioned under CGTMSE was only 2.5 lakh crore. However, in the last 5 years, there are several changes been carried out, and the cumulative sanctions as on date is around 9.75 lakh crore, which is a huge amount, and that testifies that how much government is taking, what the endeavor of government and what is the endeavor of the government to sponsor and to promote the micro and small sector in India. So there are 1.15 lakh MSME units which are covered under CGTMSE. And to clarify the third one, upskilling and providing proper skill set to the promoters so that they can manage the file, they can maintain their accounts in a disciplined way so that they can be able to approach a bank for finance. So that is another point. So these are the challenges faced by MSMEs, and these challenges definitely are being rectified, and over a period definitely will overcome, and the contribution of these MSMEs are huge, 30% to the GDP, and 45% exports are done by these MSMEs. So to take it forward to reach the 5 billion mark, so we have to contribute, we have to ensure that the contribution of MSME sector reaches 40% at least to the national GDP. So in order to do that, earlier the medium sector was out of the CGTMSE purview. Now with Mutual Credit Guarantee Trust, so this has been given up to 100 crore guarantee under Mutual Credit Guarantee Scheme, and where the medium sector is also included. And I can tell you that there are a lot of government sponsored schemes, so MSMEs can take benefit, but lack of knowledge, lack of awareness about those schemes, the entrepreneurs are not taking the benefit and they are getting lending from the informal sources. So the informal sources leads to unviable circumstances where they cannot remain viable for a long, it cannot be sustainable if you are getting at 16 to 70%, even 24% to some extent, where banks are lending at 9 to 10, even 11%, so you can remain competitive. So I would urge all the MSMEs, so please get into the fold of formalization, get yourself registered and take the benefit of formal channels so that you can compete with the best of the best and you can reap the benefits, and we can work together for achieving the 5 trillion economic goal even further. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Siba Prasad Nayak, for touching upon various important aspects and more importantly formalizing the whole operations at an MSME level. Next we have a representative from SBI, from the Consultancy Services Cell, Mr. Virjin Jawahar. Friends, Mr. Virjin is an Assistant General Manager and Specialist Officer in the Consultancy Services Cell at SBI, based out of Bangalore. He holds a postgraduate degree in Mechanical Engineering and possesses over 15 years of experience in techno-commercial assessments across diverse industrial sectors. Before joining SBI, he worked as an assistant professor in mechanical engineering, a probationary officer at Federal Bank, as well as a technical field officer at Canara Bank's head office in Bangalore. His current responsibilities at SBI include conducting techno-economic viability studies, handling the rehabilitation and restructuring of struggling businesses, undertaking industry and cluster studies, and leading entrepreneurship development programs. With this brief, I present to you Mr. Virjin Jawahar, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, everybody. I thank FKCCI, PAA and CASIA for giving us a wonderful opportunity to address the gathering of almost all the MSMEs in Karnataka. It's really a great opportunity to see a synergy between all the three associations and make us to visit all the MSME units at one location, which we have to meet. And earlier it is like we have to attend multiple forums to meet all the MSMEs, but it's a really great initiative by these three organizations to make under one roof and make the bankers also to meet at one roof. So State Bank of India has been in the forefront in MSME financing. Our Honorable Prime Minister has set a goal that by 2047 we should be Vikshit Bharat. In that, with that goal in mind, all the ecosystem is working towards achieving that goal. So banks, MSMEs, corporates, everybody is working towards that goal. In that context, the goal set by Honorable Prime Minister is merely a growth goal or growth with sustainability. So now whenever, sometimes means previous to that, wherever growth was mentioned, it was purely growth. We never bothered about the sustainability. But today, with the climate is coming into picture, and the way tariff wars are going on around the world, and we are also one of the greatest sufferers of this tariff war, our growth has to be in a sustainable way as well as in a progressive way. So MSMEs are the major backbone to achieve this objective, and they are the guys who are going to, even though corporates are there, but the MSME, without MSMEs, corporate cannot perform. Because almost all the products, vendor system, everything is relying on MSMEs. So that's what banks are also considering the huge potential in the MSME ecosystem. Banks are also rolling out various programs in line with the government's initiatives. Government is also rolling out various programs, various government-sponsored programs. In that line, banks are also rolling out various digitized programs, so that to achieve this vision of Viksit Bharat by 2047 and also achieve a 5 trillion economy. SBI internally has a target, set a target of 5 lakh crores by 2025. I am glad to inform that our bank has already achieved a target of 5 lakh crore in MSME business by 31st March 2025. That is also a great achievement. Similarly, now going further, bank has a huge mandate to enable the MSME with highly sustainable and to mitigate all the climate risk arising out of it. But nowadays we have seen every monsoon Bangalore is flooding, across countries major industries are flooding. How many businesses are lost because of this climate risk? So it is our initiative to imbibe the green initiatives, whether it may be solar, whether it may be energy efficiency. We have to imbibe with the various schemes being rolled out by the government is going to come into future as well as the existing schemes. So one of the major challenges what we find in rolling out a easy access to credit to the MSMEs is predominantly because of the lack of financial discipline. With the rollout of GST, it has become a major tool for everybody, including financial institutions, to assess the health of every MSME. Because a better run business will have better GST history, and with that we will be able to automate our systems to enable the MSMEs to get a credit delivery at a faster rate compared to the traditional systems. In fact, SBI has rolled out the business rule engine platform, wherein any existing MSME can easily access credit delivery from the banking system within a tact of 5 days, provided you have a proper income tax return file, your proper GST returns file, and your transactions are well documented, well captured in the banking system. So I urge upon all the MSMEs, please look into this opportunity, get into a formalized channel in a better way with a better compliance mindset, and make this vision of our Prime Minister of beginning Viksit Bharat by 2047 and make our country great and a developed country in the global ecosystem. So I once again thank FKCCI and PAA and CASIA for giving this great opportunity. We are very happy to take questions from you. Thank you all and all.
Thank you, Mr. Virjin, for sharing your views on sustainability and the importance of maintaining financial discipline. Friends, next in line we have with us a representative from Union Bank of India, Mr. Mahesha J. Friends, Mahesha is the Regional Head and Deputy General Manager at Union Bank. He is currently managing, well, of course, to his credit, he is managing a total business of 30,000 crores. His banking career commenced in the year 2005, progressing through various roles in credit at Karnataka Bank and Vijaya Bank. Later, he joined UBI in 2009, taking on the position of the Senior Manager Credit with responsibilities various before becoming a branch manager in 2012. He successfully led several large branches. In 2017, he was promoted to the Assistant General Manager, heading fraud risk management, where he implemented key measures to reduce check and gold loan fraud. He has led Saral, Bangalore East, and he's also become the top performer nationally. With this introduction, I welcome Mr. Mahesha. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. Respected panelists, esteemed dignitaries, I am standing before you because all three PIA, this Kasia and FKCC are giving me an opportunity. I thank all of them. And since I am from Union Bank of India, before telling anything about MSME, I would like to say a few things about Union Bank. Union Bank today, it's like maybe fourth largest or fifth largest. It's hovering in one of the two parameters, and we are very pioneer in funding to MSMEs. Our products are one of the simplest, and we are there to serve the MSME at any level. And coming to MSME, see, bank as a whole, total 35 lakh crore is the funding to MSMEs till date. And if you ask, just few days ago, we heard that World Bank has declared India as the fourth largest economy. In that, do you know what is your contribution? You have contributed 30% in that number 4. So the 30% contribution is from MSMEs. And as far as workforce contribution is concerned, 60% is coming from MSMEs. Then coming to see, everybody says that MSME does that, does this and all. I would like to give few suggestions to MSMEs so that they can grow bigger and they can become stronger. Number one is, actually MSMEs are closely held. They are mostly like family businesses. They are proprietorships or partnerships within husband and wife, father and son, okay, like that only, brothers, like that only will be there. So because of that, they tend to, have two books of accounts. Like one is official book of account, another one is they will be having a separate book of account. So if you want to grow bigger, maintain proper book of accounts, okay, and don't withdraw the capital. So keep the capital inside the system. Then you always have to have margin upfront from your side. So it is there. As a banker, we are always ready to fund the MSMEs, but from your end, you should always be ready with your margin. So then easily you can grow. Then as a banker, we look into some ratios, hardly 2-3 ratios only. Number one is current ratio, that is how much debtors you have, how much creditors you have, plus some stocks. So it should be on ideal basis 1.17. So which if anytime any MSME is coming to the banker, immediately you will be able to take the decision. Then debt equity ratio 3:1, TAL, TNW, total outside liabilities to the net worth, it's 4 or 5. For manufacturing it is 4, for trading it is 5:1. And DSCR, that is any time when you are taking a term loan, by how you are going to repay it, that must be around 1.5. So these are all the some minor things normally MSME entrepreneur you will forget. So I am just trying to tell you that if you follow this, it will be, for a banker it will be very, very easy and he will be more willing to fund you. Then coming to, whenever we give a fund, you need to use it properly. End use is most essential. So we have seen several MSMEs, the moment they get working capital sanction, next day a beautiful car will be standing in front of his house. So that is most important. So please see that if you have taken on working capital, it should be used for working capital purposes only. If you have taken a term loan, it should be used for the term loan purposes only. Then avoid frequent borrowings. It is observed that many MSMEs, every 2 months, 3 months they are coming out for new facilities. No, it will hurt. And sometimes what happens, anytime banks are not so willing to fund, then immediately what they will do is they will go to some NBFC or they will go to somewhere outside and they will try to take the funds. So that should be avoided. So it is in the interest of the company only. Then now two things is there which you cannot escape. One is CIBIL scores and number two is CMR rating for the firm and CIBIL is for the individual. So please have a look into your CIBIL rating. Even 0-day default is going to help your company. So please see that even there is no 0-day default. Then discipline and realization of debtors. Normally what happens, okay, for example, I am funding, say for example, rail wheel factory is there just opposite to me. So I am a vendor to rail wheel factory. I will think that if I go and ask rail wheel factory, what they will think? No, let him give any time they want. No. You are an MSME, there is a government guideline also, so you have to get back your money because you are already paying your interest in the working capital. So your realization should be faster. So get back your debtors faster. Then avoid holding huge inventory. See, inventory involves lot of costing. So I have seen so many times whenever we go for inspection of MSMEs, I will ask you, do you really require this kind of inventory? Yes sir, it is required. Then I will ask you, when you purchase this, of this unit, how much you have sold? Okay, then they will not be having an answer. So avoid holding huge inventories. Then sometimes some of the MSMEs they tend to buy some of the assets which they don't require. It is like window shopping. Like we also go to malls and all. We tend to buy whatever we see. So please avoid that. So with this, a few simple things which I narrated here. I hope if you use it in your day-to-day activities, probably you can grow much bigger than what you are today. And as per our Prime Minister's Viksit Bharat, so we can achieve 5 trillion economy immediately and going forward becoming the third largest economy in the world. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Mahesh. Thanks for your valuable insights, or should I say mantras, for making your MSME more open or more approachable when it comes to funding. Friends, next we have Ms. Divya Hariharan. Divya Hariharan is an Assistant General Manager and Regional Head at Export-Import Bank of India, that is EXIM Bank. She has completed her bachelor's from Pune University and has been a gold medalist at her post-graduation from National Institute of Bank Management. She has completed 15 years of service with EXIM Bank, and during these years she has worked extensively in different departments such as Corporate Banking Group, Projects Exports Group, etc. And she has also done an international stint at EXIM Bank's London branch for 3 years. With this brief introduction, I welcome Divya.
Hi, a very good evening to all. And thank you to FKCCI, PIA and CASIA for giving us an opportunity, and such a big opportunity, as my fellow people were saying, that it is at such a grand scale, because all three. Not audible. Thank you. Better. Am I audible now? Oh, yeah. So I was saying that given that it's such a big opportunity that all three institutes have joined hands and arranged this conclave, giving an opportunity to a large number of MSMEs, I think it's a very good start, and I'm sure the MSMEs are going to get out a lot from this. And before I start presenting about EXIM Bank, I must say, Mr. Mahesh, I think we keep on talking about the macro stuff, right? GDP and on a larger scale MSME's growth and all of that. But the few mantras which you've given now, I think even if the companies will hold on to that and actually work on that basis, half of the problems will be solved. So that was really very insightful. Coming back to EXIM Bank, I'm not sure how many of you are aware of EXIM Bank, because that is one question I always ask, because you don't tend to see a branch of EXIM Bank in all the in the road, in the city. So I'll just give a brief introduction. EXIM Bank is wholly owned by Government of India. The mandate of the bank is to promote exports from the country, right? With this mandate over the years, over the last little more than 40 years, the bank has been, while majorly focusing on large corporates, term loans, and capex, etc. But over the years, and as we all know, and as someone was mentioning, the contribution of MSMEs in today's GDP is a very important, and that is forming a large part of it. So the bank has also understood that while our focus has been on the large corporates and term loans, we need to also focus on the growing MSMEs. And with that in mind, the bank has brought in various products. So I will briefly maybe cover 2 or 3 of those, while there will be many, but I just feel that these 3 are something which could be much useful for the MSMEs, and especially MSMEs who are wanting to export, right? So for example, you as a company are currently exporting to USA, or you are currently exporting to Europe, but you are getting orders from countries in Africa or Sri Lanka or Nepal. But you are hesitant, you do not want to take that risk, you are not sure whether your payment will come or not. So for such kind of transactions, to enable the company to actually go out to different jurisdictions, or if I may say difficult jurisdictions, we have a program called Trade Assistance Program. So wherever you are getting any LCs from, say, a bank in Ghana or a Uganda or a Malawi, but you are not getting an opportunity to getting it confirmed or discounted by your existing banker, EXIM Bank can come in and do that. We are also joining hands with a lot of commercial banks. So banks, most of the private banks like HDFC, Yes Bank, Axis, they have already onboarded on this program. So instead of doing directly for the company, we give a guarantee to these banks, so they enable your export, and this is without recourse, right? So it is not having a recourse to you as an exporter. While this is talking about all the developing economies, we also have for the developed economies, right, where there are no LC based transactions. I don't expect that you would be getting an LC for an export to US or a Europe. For that, the bank has actually opened a subsidiary called EXIM FinServe, which is at the GIFT City, and the aim, of course, the aim of that particular subsidiary is to only do export factoring. The subsidiary is only 2 years old, and we've been supporting all the companies who are wanting to export, which are open trade, right, which is not under any LC or so those transactions also I request all the MSMEs present here, because these 2 form your major part. So we are covering both sides of it, the open trade and the trade under LC, and both of these are without recourse to you as an exporter. So this is enabling you as a company to really increase your exports or increase your global presence. So while these are mainly talking about your particular trade activity, but as a company, for your term loan requirement or for your working capital requirement as well, we have a program called Ubharte Sitare program. While of course I know my fellow commercial fellow commercial banks are more I would say they have been more active and they are more available for you all, but we will not do for all the we are identifying companies who may have some unique product or a unique process or a unique technology. We identify these companies, and when whenever these companies are getting a particular order, it could be an initial order which they are not able to work on with their existing resources. That is where we come in, and we are financing under the Ubharte Sitare program. So under this program as well, I think the program was actually inaugurated by the finance minister a few years back, and we have supported many companies under the same. Apart from these, any company who is wanting to go overseas, acquire an overseas company, or you already have an office overseas and you want that company to have any capex or working capital requirement, even those are being covered under our overseas investment finance program. So I don't want to frankly bore you with all the terminologies or the program names, but I do again want to highlight on the initial two, because I feel that is one area which will help the companies to really grow. And as you grow and you grow your overseas presence, that is exactly what we as a country want. Is we want the Indian companies to go overseas, increase our exports, and not be limited to only the safe and I would say the developed economies, but also the developing economies. Thank you.
Thank you, Divya, for sharing your views on various fund-based and non-fund-based credit facilities that are available for MSMEs. Friends, next we have with us Mr. Hitendra Kumar, who is representing Canara Bank as the Assistant General Manager. Friends, Hitendra is presently leading the MSME vertical at Canara Bank's Bangalore office. He brings with him about 22 years of comprehensive banking experience. Having joined Canara Bank in 2003 as a probationary officer, he has built a robust career primarily in corporate credit, including heading MSME Sulabhs and large corporate branches. His international exposure includes significant stints at Canara Bank's New York and London offices. Academically, Hitendra holds a PGDBA in finance from Symbiosis and a BSc in physics from Magad University. He has also achieved professional banking certifications including CAIIB and JAIIB from the Indian Institute of Banking and Finance. With this introduction, I present to you Hitendra Kumar.
Very good evening to all. First of all, I'd like to thank FKCCI and CASIA for giving me the opportunity to stand here and talk in front of you. But I'd like to welcome the most important dignitary of today's event, the MSME, for which we are setting an entire government is having a focus on that. With this, I'll start. It's a great honor to address this August gathering of FKCCI already, because they have given us a platform for FKCCI, CASIA and PA joining together to bringing all the MSME and bankers together, where we can discuss and get out the issues of how we can resolve and how MSME can further prosper in India. I am from Canara Bank. Canara Bank is a forefront right now in MSME. We have moderated our policies to boost MSME, and as on date, bank is not only boosting policies, they are setting the market conditions so that MSME can prosper and we can also have a major chunk of MSME share in India. Canara Bank is a pioneer in implementing government initiatives by giving support to priority sector weaker section, in pioneer implementing all the schemes for the year 2023-24. We have been rated best bank for PM Sonidhi. Apart from that, all the government initiatives, we are the front runner. The most important thing what we are doing, what MSME are facing and what we are going to deliberate here, MSME is the biggest problem is that all MSMEs are having a simple complaint that banks we are going, it's taking a huge number of time. So what we have done to facilitate this process and give a timely sanction and credit disposal, we have made separate verticals. We are having 166 MSME Sulabhs, 75 dedicated MSME branches in India. These Sulabhs are districtly tracked so that disposal is quite and fast there. I have myself headed one of the biggest MSME Sulabhs of Canara Bank and being number one pan-India. The mantra of being number one was credit disposal at fast level and a support from all the MSMEs. I will discuss in my coming speech what is the support from all MSMEs and what are the problems they are facing. As already Mahesh and everybody has told, for repetition of fact, MSME gives around 40% of export, 45% of manufacturing, 28% of GDP, and 12 crore approx employment, which is next to agriculture. So MSME, as we say, MSME is the most important thing. Our Prime Minister has given a focus for Viksit Bharat. MSME has been written as growth engine of economy. And if we see MSME, we are not growing MSME, we are not exploring all the potentials of MSME, we are not going to achieve that. Despite government all focus, MSME potential is still largely untapped. We are seeing that the 80% of MSME are going to informal sources of credit, leading to nearly number of around 40% by total quantum. So we need to tap this because these are the biggest problem. As we discuss MSME, the ultimately problem faced by MSME impacting the growth of the economy. The problem faced is credit gap. As recently we saw data from SIDBI, 30 to 35 lakh crores was a credit gap. Lack of formal credit, access to formal credit, stringent lending norms. Many MSME I have personally had it for a longer period. So all the MSMEs have been complaining that banks are having stringent lending norms. These norms are not stringent. Ultimately, we need to discuss and we need to resolve that how we can educate our customers so that as Mahesh sir was discussing all the ratios and all that, we need to tell them you need not go through the ratios. You just see your balance sheet. It's not only your CA will look at your balance sheet, your figures. You look at your balance sheet yourself, you will be much more self-sufficient to answer all the bank queries. Collateral is the biggest thing what all the customers have been complaining, but fortunately government has come with a very beautiful norms. They have raised the cover of CGTMSE from 5 to 10 crore. For exporters, they have raised to manufacturing for 20 crores. They have come with a mutual credit guarantee schemes up to 100 crore for manufacturing sector. Apart from that, in the recent budget, micro enterprises, they have given huge number of emphasis, and banks is also working on micro emphasis. Continuing to what our DJ Mahesha was telling, what we have done, we are working on the new credit model of financing on digital footprint. As we walk in any market street, we see everyone is having a QR code. Even a coconut seller is having a QR code, so he is having a digital footprint. Banks, particularly Canara Bank, we have revamped our credit model. We have revamped our underwriting standards. We are having many digital schemes. We are having e-Mudra, we are having e-GST, we are having e-Udyam, where you can log in yourself based on your digital footprint. You can get your credit directly within 30 to 35 minutes. Only thing you have to understand that your credit history should be good. One most important thing I like to discuss here, that financial literacy is a very important thing. Financial literacy is not only that you know your balance sheet. You know, banks are doing, not only Canara Bank, all the public sector banks, we are doing many things, but these things, awareness should be there. One more important thing which I like to say here before I end my speech, that the most important change what we are seeing here in India, I have worked across pan-India, I have seen many different flourishing, many part of India. We are having regional disparities in technology, but what important thing is there, fintech has brought a great change in MSME. All the MSMEs, if we want to have a global footprint, what government is looking for the Viksit Bharat, you need to understand that fintech, you need to align with the fintech, align with the technology and move ahead. So Canara Bank, I will not take much time because we are waiting for the panelists. We are having pan-India schemes for benefit of the customers. We have made strategic area-specific schemes. In Bangalore, we are having many schemes. We are having different zonal schemes as per one district, one policy of Government of India. As I told, we are having our digital footprint which we can benefit you. But more important thing, as on date for literacy, we are having various measures what we have done. We are having root cities pan-India where we are training many people. Apart from that, we are having financial literacy centers. So we are trying to cope up. We are trying to cope up with the government. We are trying to cope up with the MSMEs for the development. But as I end my speech here,
I'll tell you that the desired credit support and hand holding is the requirement of MSME and the requirement of the bank. But it's a long way to walk, and I purely believe that deliberations, what we held here, questions we'll answer, it will help in getting the demographic benefit for the country. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hitendra, for touching upon various issues, pitfalls that MSMEs generally face and what the banking sector, or more so specifically your bank, is doing to address these issues. Friends, till now we've heard 5 different panelists speak on various challenges that MSMEs face when it comes to structured finance, banking, financial institutions. The 6th panelist we have with us is Ms. Parvathi Moorthy. She is here to share her views on alternate funding opportunities. Before I call her to the podium, I would like to give a brief introduction. Friends, Parvathi is the Associate Vice President, SME Business Development at National Stock Exchange of India, that is right, NSE, and is responsible for SME listings pan-India. She is a chartered accountant by profession. She also holds CFA Charter and FRM certification. She has nearly 2 decades post-qualification experience in corporate and investment banking across banks like ICICI, ING, and the latest being SBI, where she was responsible for SME business development. She has also been associated with institutions like Wellington Business School and ICFI Business School as a visiting faculty for various finance subjects. With this introduction, I hand over the mic to Ms. Parvathi.
Namaste everyone, good evening. At the outset, I'd like to thank FKCCI, CASIA and PIA for having us here. I represent the public capital markets in this panel on institutional finance, and our platform is called NSE Emerge. NSE Emerge is the platform which supports SMEs to raise growth capital. Before I get into the statistics of our platform, I'll just mention 5 reasons why SMEs should consider listing as an alternative means of raising funds. The first one, since most of the panelists here with me are from banking, traditionally banks have been the go-to source for SMEs to raise funds. And somewhere the nature of debt funding is such that there will be a fixed obligation for the borrower to repay. And many a times there is a stage in the life of the company when the businessman would be required to take probably tough decisions, probably venture into a different segment where the payoff is going to happen at a later point in time. And so at such stages it may not be always feasible for the businessman to work with a fixed obligation of repayment. So at many stages in a life of a business, the debt funding option may at times be perceived as a burden for running the business. Other than that, there could be a businessman who says that no, I don't want debt at all, right? I don't want that burden of debt on my head. Even in such cases, if let's say that you were to grow your business organically by reinvesting all the profits which you've made into this business, trust me, what it will take for you to scale up your business, let's say what you would achieve probably in 8 to 10 years of reinvesting the cash accruals in that business may be achieved in 18 to 24 months by an injection of equity. And today the world is such that there is no dearth of opportunities, especially for MSME. As each panelist here rightly mentioned, we at India are standing at a stage where we are ripe for opportunities. And in such stage, if we grow only organically, possibly we may grow, but then it may take time. And so a dash of infusion of equity at the right time will help business scale and take advantage of various opportunities which are there. Third one I'd say is that no one knows the value of your enterprise unless you have made it into a public investment. So an unlisted company, no one can guess what is the value. Yes, there are investors who would invest in unlisted companies, but then the stamp of actual valuation comes when the company gets listed. Besides this, each of these bankers, I've been a banker myself, somewhere as a banker there is a bit of discomfort if the purpose for which the borrowing is made is not in the creation of tangible assets. So there are some sectors where as a bank there may be some concerns about funding to such sectors, possibly new age businesses, asset light business models, D2C companies. There are some sectors like media where as a bank there may be some challenges in lending, but from a growth potential the equity markets understand such businesses as well. And last, I would say that like each of the bankers mentioned, at some point in time in the life cycle of a company, as it grows, it will start obviously with its own funds. You will bootstrap, you will keep reinvesting, you will probably get funds from your friends and family and invest it into the business. But you will reach a stage where you are constrained that I cannot as a promoter put in more funds on my own. As a lender, the lender would want to see some skin in the game in that business. They would want some kind of collateral. So these are all situations where examining listing in the public capital markets is a healthy alternative and is an alternative which many SMEs have considered. Two more small points which I'd make. One is the kind of visibility which comes by being a listed enterprise. Many of the listed companies have come back to us and have said that after listing, the number of opportunities, my visibility went up. I could get collaborations from overseas. Many people have been able to approach us which were not possible had we been an unlisted enterprise. And again, the last point which I'd make here is the kind of talent one can retain. One of the biggest challenges for MSMEs to grow is the ability to attract and retain talent. If you're a listed company, you would be able to offer ESOPs to your company and obviously wealth to your employees, and obviously wealth is created when the smaller companies becomes a larger one. Right, so these are just some of the reasons which I mentioned where why SMEs should consider listing as an alternate way of raising funds. And before I get into some of the stats of our platform, I have a brief AV to share. If we can have the AV please. These are some of the glimpses of what we've done in the last financial year. So one thing which we saw happen in the last financial year is that not only were the listings in the prime metropolises of Mumbai, Delhi, Ahmedabad, we saw a number of listings from tier 2 and tier 3 cities. We've seen almost about 12 listings from cities like Ludhiana, Bhubaneswar, Bilaspur, and these are basically just showing that the cult of equity is not restricted only to Mumbai. It is very much spread to across India. Some of the sectors which have seen the maximum fundraising is green energy, solar and wind. So the highest IPO was of Danish Power, which is into renewable energy. Another segment which has seen a lot of interest from investors has been EV, recycling, wastewater recycling. And this is not just restricted to engineering. I'll give you some stats of our platform, NSE Emerge. We started in 2012 with approvals from SIDBI. And in the last 12 years, we've seen about 619 companies list on this emerge platform. Collectively, these companies have raised about 17,200 crores. And the market capitalization of these companies is about 1,80,000 crores. So you can see the kind of value which small companies have added to the investors. Now the interesting part of this 600 is that the first 300 companies took us 10 years to reach, and the next 300 companies have happened in just the last 2 years, which is showing the kind of acceptance of capital markets as an alternate for raising funds within the overall SME ecosystem. When it comes to the number from Karnataka, until 2022, we had just 2 companies from Karnataka which were listed on the NSE Emerge platform, and as on date we have 16 companies. So that's the momentum which has been built in the state, and I'm sure this is just the beginning. We are having a very long way to go. Our collaboration with the state government of Karnataka is in multiple ways. We have entered into an MOU with the state government of Karnataka in 2024, where we would be collaborating to jointly increase awareness and outreach about SME fundraising options. And not just that, the state government of Karnataka also provides for financial assistance, and that's a high number. That's about 25 lakhs of financial assistance to reimburse the initial cost of the IPO, the expenses which a company incurs in going public. So with these kind of regulatory backing and the state government support, I'm sure we're going to see a lot of interest from the companies in Karnataka to go public, and we'd like to see many more such listings happen right here in Namma Bangalore. Thank you so much.
Ended on the right note. Like she mentioned, 2 companies on the NSE platform in 2022 to about 18 of them in 2025, and a long way to go. Thanks Ms. Parvathi Moorthy for educating and more so throwing light on how one can raise funds from the SME platform. Friends, before we open it up for the Q&A, I request our past president Shiv Kumar sir, Shiv Shanmugam sir, to kindly come forward, who is also coincidentally the conference convener for this 3-day MSME Conclave, to kindly come forward and share your views. Thank you, sir.
Ellarigu namaskara. Good evening to all the panelists. We heard all the panelists talking about how the funding and all happens. Probably I entered the banking sector 45 years back, and still I am a MSME and doing varied businesses. So I was once the chairman of the MSME for the entire Karnataka, appointed by one of the parties for about 3 years. So I am a past president of FKCC and now the program coordinator. I thought I'll bring generally about 2 or 3 or 4 points. It's not a question, but it is something that all the bank people should sit and ponder over how we all can just help the MSME. The first and the foremost thing is that one of the panelists said that you are diverting the funds, you should not divert the funds. I think so. You said. What we are facing the problem with the bankers is, we have a working capital, suddenly there is an opportunity for us to diversify. At that time when we come for asking you a term loan, the kind of questions, the kind of papers you ask, it will be 6 months or 1 year, that technology will become obsolete. So what we take a risk is to divert the funds. How you are going to sort out that issue is something that you have to all discuss. The second thing is that you know that Indian population, at least 25 to 28% are still not literate. Suddenly out of the blue, like American country citizens or UK, you all bring civil ratings and that this everything you are bringing it, and your bankers who are all junior officers, they go only like a bookworm. They only go by that. Somewhere 22 years, 23 years back, civil ratings. You people ask us a question. Who has given the report to the civil? The bankers. When we have honored the commitment, is it not the duty of the bankers to go and tell the civil people, yes, they have cleared it? They don't do that. 22 years back, they asked 20 years back. And I had to reply that, and it took 1 month for that company to really come out of it. So that issue I want you to sort out, sir. Second point, sir, the question, when loans are sanctioned, till the minute point is given to you, you are not sanctioning. Our request is, you are asking such a questions like 3 years balance sheet, you are asking the past performance, you are asking what is your collateral security, you are asking the purchase, sales orders you have got, you come and inspect whether the unit is functioning, whether it is alive. After seeing for 3 or 4 years, still even a small issue, you don't have that one certificate, it is getting due on next month, go and make a renewal, then we will honor it. This delay is something that is affecting all my brothers and sisters of MSME, sir. That is something that you have to take. What we want to say, example to you is, many of that I don't say, hope so that everyone are fine and healthy, but you know, many suffer from diabetics or heart or sugar or whatever is BP and all. But still, he goes for work. Suddenly he goes and falls and he has a fracture. He gets admitted in the hospital. Within 3 days they say everything is fit, you are discharged, correct? But are you really fully cured? Your heart is normal, your BP is normal, your sugar is normal. What I want to say is, at that point of time you are normal. Likewise, they only see whether the organs, main organs are okay, they'll say, okay sir, please take rest and go back to your work. Likewise, I want you bankers, don't see the small things, see the major things like balance sheets and the orders and all XYZ I said, so that you can give us faster the funds when we require. And another 3-4 points, you know, today India is, thank you, today India is a credit-oriented market. There is no demand, anything is available. They are asking 120 days, 180 days. Now the problem for us is that after 90 days, the book dates are not taken into account as stock available and you reduce our DP. That is something that you all should learn, not learn, please go through that also. And secondly, sir from I think so Canara Bank or Union Bank said, we are giving against the central assistance, CGT scheme. I want to ask one question, sir. What is the percentage of money that you have given against the CGT from each bank? I wanted to know. It cannot be even a double figure. It should be below 10%, I can assure you that. I want you to say that 10 crores to 20 crore there are upset bol rahe, but definitely, what is the percentage that you have dispersed? You also please look into that, because I know it will not be more than 5 to 6%. I want you to know all those things, sir. Sir, I don't think so. Previously, you people had given some powers, 10% or 5% of the sanctioned credit facilities to the branch managers in case of any exigencies. Unfortunately, that power is plucked away from the branch officers. For each and everything, they have to go to the higher ups, which is again making a very, very big issue for us to get the finance in time. In fact, you all were great enough to acknowledge that MSME is contributing in so many ways to the world, to the people in the employment, and request the bankers, all of you, to please kindly sort out, make this civil rating a little more liberal till we are all having that awareness, not we. Many of the rural people are not aware of civil. Where do we get effect out of civil? You have some juniors, simply they say, your rating is bad, we cannot give. Kindly look into that matter also, sir. And last point I want to ask you is, you must have heard what our honorable ministers in the morning had said to all the bankers. I don't know how many were you present. Right from Deputy Chief Minister, Honorable D.K. Shivakumar Ji, to Union Minister for MSME, M.B. Patil Sahab, Large Scale Minister and Small Scale India. All of them have asked you, please open your eyes, be liberal in giving facilities. You have our property with you. We want to do business. Please help us in time. Definitely MSME will grow. Thank you very much. Thank you all, sir.
As a representative of MSMEs and an industrialist, our past president Shiv Shanmugam sir has aptly pointed out practical challenges, issues that are faced by MSMEs. If anyone would want to address, kindly go forward, sir.
Yeah. I thank sir for raising these questions. Sir, whatever you have raised, I am with you. Your questions are 100% correct. Okay. Sir, definitely we are sympathetic to MSMEs and we are with you for all the questions are right, sir. But still, I would like to give some kind of clarification and some kind of inputs so that at a later date the MSMEs can utilize out of it. So number one, you said regarding, please have a seat, sir, please have a seat. Sir, with regard to diversion of funds, so I took an example of a next day car coming and standing in front of the house. So I never took an example of a new machine coming into the factory. Okay. But I always say that short-term funds, short-term users, long-term funds, long-term users, please restrict to it. But if any machinery is coming and to the factory, you are always free to approach the banker. Sir, it was an urgency, I already purchased, please reimburse, and we are going to reimburse. Am I right, sir? Okay. Sir, coming to the second one, regarding civil rectifications, yes, it is true, somewhere long back 20 years ago we did something we could not do, maybe I was not well, something might have went wrong and my civil is down today. So what I suggest all of you is, we are looking at a civil scoring of last 3 years. Behind 3 years we are not very much particular, but still anytime anything in the past has happened in your civil, please get it rectified. If it is a mistake or if it is true, then it is a fact. You just have to only justify why it is so, and at the other end, definitely we are flexible, we are going to accept your justifications. Thank you, sir. Then coming to, till last moment we don't give the sanctions. To tell you, we are very sorry for your experiences. In future, see, I am a regional head, Union Bank of India. I always say to my team that no, you should not make the customer wait. So many times it has happened that the note is not finally signed, but we have already disbursed. But we will ensure going forward to tell our team, please don't make the customer wait. Let us clear it very faster. And to tell you, sir, in Union Bank of India, what we have done is, see, there is a one MSME processing center. Anything beyond 50 lakhs, beyond the branch powers, it will be processed at their end. For example, if the proposal falls at the regional office level, they will send the proposal directly to regional office. If it's at zonal office power, it will be going to zonal office, and it's central office power directly to central office without passing through other levels like regional office, zonal office and central office. So this action we have taken. Going forward, hope this complaint will not come. Then actually you said many of the MSMEs are hardworking. Sometimes they'll come in problem. You might observe that during COVID period, many of the banks, NBFCs, private banks, they did not come to the help of MSMEs. But it is the nationalized banks who actually we called, we sent SMS, we asked whether you require money, and on our own we have given 50% of the money without a single signature we have given it. That is the greatness of nationalized banks, and we have done it, and we are always will be there for the SMEs. Then coming to fast funds, I already, and regarding 90 days DP, wherever 90 days DP is not possible, wherever you feel that I require an additional number of days, then you are free to approach. Only issues is the delegations may differ depending on bank to bank, so that will be considered. Then EOL, EOL excess over limits. It is a matter of fact, people are taking the temporary funds, but based on the past experience, some of the banks have taken this decision that branch level only up to 10% is available. In our bank, up to 10%, it is still available, you can get it. But at the same time, for any kind of emergency expenditures, we are open, we will look into it. And liberal and flexible. See, for MSME, I always tell to my team whenever we are having a discussion, meetings and all, please be very, very considerate for the MSMEs. MSMEs, 30% of our GDP, 60% of our workforce, and they are the ones. And one more point I would like to tell, like sir was asking about CGTMSA, how much we have given. Sir, of late the CGTMSA collateral, without collateral has increased up to 10 crore. So you believe it or not, I have already sanctioned 2 proposals, 10 crore under CGTMSA, and one of that is to put this kind of a German tent itself. So that way now it is no, and no, the compliance level has increased because of the GST. We can get so many reports on our own. By just getting an OTP, we are getting reports, we are having straight through processes. I think hopefully going forward, your timelines, flexibility and all, almost like it will be as per your expectation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you Mr. Mahesha for actually taking the questions chronologically and giving your solution in case we face those issues. Can we have a question from Mr. Arvind Burji, sir?
Sir, I am Arvind Burji, past president of Peenya and present director of the FKCCI. The civil I am paying, are you giving loan to civil or entrepreneur?
Sir, I'll tell you like this. Civil is a reflection of your past, sir. So that past, we have to accept. Past is past. So you have to prove that, sir, past is past, future will do better.
No, present also I am telling you recently, once we give application to the banker, they will first go to civil. We have been, I think 20 years back, some problem was there, that is personal loan. 20 years back. After that, we have taken so many crores of loan and completed.
Sir,
but still they are looking at the civil.
Sir, I will explain you like this. For example, we are searching for a girl for our son. Okay, we will going to look into what his father do, what his mother do, what is this girl, what is our education. So it is very similar, sir. When I am giving a loan to you, I am a partner to you, sir. So definitely we are going to look into it. But only thing is, after understanding all the past, then I am taking a decision. Yes, I am going to marry this girl. So that is the decision, sir.
I do agree. What I am going to tell you now, civil is creating a big problem to the entrepreneurs. And one more thing, sir. Now earlier you used to give 10% or on the spot temporary OD limit. Now what is happening now? And even when you apply loan, bank manager, whether it is AGM or manager, he knows better client. Because he is dealing with them, no? Once you apply, if he sends all the proposal to the head office, one simple man, he will come, no, your loan is not sanctioned. Then what is the use of sitting the bank manager, sir? No, it is, I think you are insulting your own colleague.
No, sir, I understood, sir. Very sorry for this kind of any time it has happened in your experiences.
Sure.
But let us, this forum be a platform. I am telling you, actually, no, sir, actually, any credit, no, it should come out of his heart. People should understand, I am with the 30% of the nation, 30% GDP. So if a person who is processing the proposal, if he understands that, definitely he is going to support. But going forward, sir, we will explain this to our team. We will see that your concerns are well taken.
No, from compared to other it is far better, sir. But thing is that this is what getting, once the file goes there, they will look at the civil.
Yes.
Sir, in short, what Arvind sir is saying is don't go as per arranged marriage rules, don't verify so much. Bring a blend of love marriage also, things will be fine. So can we have our next question from Perumal sir?
Perumal, I am also from FKCCI. Civil rating is not our Indian origin. You are depending upon a foreigner, you are not the Indian citizen. kindly convey to the Union Finance Minister, abolish your foreign giving reports. Let them make an Indian origin company to create a civil rating. Please convey a message to the IRFs, then go to the finance minister.
Sure, sir. Any questions from the backbenchers? Go ahead.
Yeah, Hitendra Kumar here. Only one my concern is when the loan is approached, any new projects come, they are ready to provide you around 50% of collateral security also, even the plant and machinery is there. But again you are looking for the new entrepreneurs. What is their background, what is their experience? And joining the government job or when joining the bank, nobody having the experience. They will join, then they will get trained, they will promote, then achieve the higher position. But for new entrepreneur, I don't know where is the rule. I am searching in the Banking Act also. Where is that procedure, checking up the experience for the, because if I have worked for the 2 years or 3 years in the company, I wanted to start my industry. I am ready to give collateral securities. Then where is the question? That is a lacuna is there. It is differ from banks to bank. If one bank is rejecting, another bank is ready to give, but again rate of interest is offering higher. That has to be addressed. And one more thing is CIBIL. The 20 years back, again I am coming to as a professional, we are representing before RBI also, you have informed. When you are seeing you are seeing last 3 years balance sheet, everything in your last 3 years. Why can't you stick on to the 3 years? Don't go behind, because that performance is company is giving. If you see the COVID period, we requested many times even RBI to relax that period. That time also CIBIL is affected badly to the entrepreneurs. But still bankers are not considering that. That especially we need to address. That's all.
Sir, first to answer your point, banks doesn't look into collateral for taking a call on financing. Collateral is always for a backup, for adverse scenarios. So first we are always looking into the cash flows and the business standing in the market. So based on that only, any bank will take a credit decision. And for any new entrepreneur, again you compare with that of a government employee or a private employee. See, for a private employee also, for any particular position, they are giving you certain eligibility norms. Yes, I want a fresher with a BSc degree or BE degree or whatever it is. But when I am recruiting at a higher stage level, maybe at the management level, I invariably ask, I want a board experience with this many years of service and everything, then only I will be able to induct him into the board or in the senior management position. The same thing follows for an entrepreneur. Unfortunately, when an entrepreneur is coming into picture, we are all dealing with public money. It is not my own money. I am accountable for my government, my public, as well as my regulatory organizations who are behind me for anything and everything, whatever decisions I make. So it is my most responsibility to take care whatever money I give it to the public should be properly utilized. So an entrepreneur who is going to come, he is not having any backup. See, in the government institution or private institutions, that guy can learn with all the support from the fellow employees. But an entrepreneur is always on his own. Nobody will come to the rescue when he is in deep trouble. When he is in good times, everybody will come, show off, and everything will happen. But when he is in a bad time, even the fellow, even we can't expect even the whole family members will be ditching. So that's what bankers will be more cautious to understand the capability of the entrepreneur, how he is, what is his experience, whether he has a required knowledge and the acumen to sustain any adverse scenarios. Because I am in this banking industry not from the banking side, from the industrial assessment side for the past 15 years. I have been seeing entrepreneurs, budding entrepreneurs with coming only with ideas. We don't have any balance sheets, we don't have any cash flows. Only based on their ideas and their acumen and their grit and the confidence, we have given loans, and today they are all big guys. So that's the reason banks will definitely look into the entrepreneur's background and experience too deep. It is our duty. We don't have a choice.
Thank you, Mr. Jawahar.
I want to add one more point. Sir told about the receivables. Sir, you are looking at the receivables as 90 days. Why are you not going beyond that? For that reason only. Of course, bank has a norm. We cannot, because you are ultimately it's all related to the working capital cycle. My working capital cycle has to be very, very efficient. Otherwise, there is no point in doing the business. Somebody should not take me for a ride and let them not enjoy with that my money. So this is the challenge. This is a challenge in the ecosystem. So to avoid that particular pain point only, RBI brought the credit scheme, wherein my well financially disciplined MSMEs who are suppliers to the larger corporate or well rated MSMEs, we will be able to, the exchange, we have the trade exchange wherein we will be able to discount their invoices and make their cash flows very efficient, and so that my MSME will not choke and the banker is coming into picture and help you in have a better liquidity in the system. So I hope your issue of stretched receivables is addressed. Then regarding your CGSME coverage, I want to add, our banks, again, since you asked immediately wanted the information, yes, I got the information. State Bank of India has covered 27,000 crores of loan under CGSME during the last financial year.
Thank you.
Fourth point, sir, you told one more point regarding, sir, because of some certificates, you are holding up funding and you are not releasing the funds. Yes, we are holding up the funds because of certain certificates. Mainly, it is a statutory approvals. It is whose duty, sir, to take care of the statutory approvals at the right time and keep it ready. Is it the banker's duty to ensure that, yeah, please take care of the statutory approvals? It is an entrepreneur who has a grit and a commitment to ensure my unit is run well within the statutory requirement of this country. They should take care of each and every approvals in place. You should not happen at the last moment. You should be at the first moment when I am approaching the bank for enhancement or requirement of additional funds.
Sir,
Thank you again.
I want to close this because I have to come to give you a presentation. But one thing I tell you, sir, we are not asking you for statutory. We are also 40 years old in the experience. 40 years experience we have got. But the kind of questions and papers you ask, give us 30 days time after you sanction. We will provide that, which is all very, very minor issue, is what I wanted to bring it here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jawahar. Friends, you'll have to forgive me because of the lack of time. We will have to conclude the session. Let me tell you, for those of you who have any questions, sure, let's go ahead. The last question.
Let's make it really quick. 20 years of experience in a family business and with many banks. But recently I came across something called OA, Open Assignment, where Chinese companies through Chinese suppliers in Gujarat and Maharashtra is giving 1 year credit, 20% advance and 80% after 1 year. It's a company called as Sinosure, insurance company in China, and they help manufacturers in China through Chinese companies sitting here in India. So such kind of facility for missionaries, for any kind of cash flows, like what CGTSME, all of you are doing, if you can make it seamless and much easier. Many people do not know what is OA. So just my simple question is, please educate MSMEs.
Sir, regarding machinery, I will, since he has a point of deferred payment, actually it is nothing but a deferred payment guarantee. Deferred payment guarantee is in force for so many years. We have been financing deferred payment guarantees for purchase of machinery, import of machineries from outside, and buyer's credits have been arranged for all the machinery guys who are always there. So it is not a new assignment. Only thing, China, in way always we will look at a caution. So we have to be careful because we don't know when our doors will be shut whenever we are dealing with China, because we carry a huge country risk. So that we have to keep in mind. But otherwise, this is a well-established ecosystem of deferred payment guarantees. In fact, people mainly use these DPGs to have a low-cost foreign currency denominated term notes or whatever it is. So it is a very normal thing, sir. It's not a new thing in the market. anybody is welcome. Anybody is trying to import machinery from abroad and they wanted to have, the supplier is ready to give a different. In fact, China is giving this particular OA or defect payment guarantee to push their production because they are already suffering with this type of tariffs and everything. They are suffering, so they wanted to push their production more to other countries. They are offering this thing. Otherwise, they will die there. So that's the point. So it is not a new thing. It is already well established in the market.
Thank you. Friends, New India requires new solutions. All we want is we want the banking sector, MSMEs to work together to one day see Viksit Bharat actually happen. A huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to all the 6 panelists. May I now request the Vice President FKCCI, Sairam Prasad sir, along with the conference convener, past President Shiv Shanmugam sir, to kindly come forward and hand over a memento as a token of appreciation to all the 6 panelists. Kindly come forward, sir. We have with us Ms. Parvathi Moorthy, AVP, National Stock Exchange. Parvathi Moorthy, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Siba Prasad Nayak, DGM SIDBI. Mr. Siba Prasad Nayak. Next we have with us Mr. Virjin Jawahar, representing State Bank of India. Mr. Mahesha, DGM, Union Bank of India. Friends, Ms. Divya Hariharan, AGM and RH EXIM Bank. Can we hear some applause, please? And finally, Mr. Hitendra Kumar, AGM Canara Bank. Thank you. Thanks to the panelists of the second technical session. Kindly assemble for a group photo. Friends, before we start the third technical session, I request Sairam Prasad sir and Shiv Shanmugam sir to kindly stay back. I request Senior VP FKCCI Uma Reddy to kindly join us on the stage as we pick a few lucky delegates.
Okay, the 2 lucky winners of this lucky draw are Bhanu Prakash of DBS Bank. I don't know whether banks need it, but Bhanu Prakash of DBS Bank is one of the lucky winners. Please come forward and collect your small token. Other person is Bharat M of Sri Raksha something, Credit Cooperative Society. Bharat M of Sri Raksha Samruddhi, I think, Credit Cooperative Society. Quickly announcing once again, Mr. Banu Prakash of DBS Bank and Mr. Bharat M of Sri Raksha Samruddhi Credit Cooperative Society. Please come forward and collect your lucky draw gift from one of our FKCCI staff here. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.